Tonight we're joined by multi-talented storyteller and Twitch streamer whose work spans from the page to the screen. Here, he's the mind behind Shadow Legacy, Lawless Hour, and the Artificial Trilogy, and is currently developing a TV pilot and guidebook titled Advanced Guide to Self-Destruction, among many other projects. Please welcome fantasy and dystopian author Matthew Rhodes. Welcome, Matthew.
How you doing today?
Very good, thank you. So we have a lot to talk about tonight, so let's just get started. The first question that I love to ask, especially recently, is how would you describe yourself without saying the words writer, story, or books?
Enthusiast.
One word.
One word.
Enthusiast. Awesome. You've got a lot of really exciting ranges going on. So you have a fantasy, dystopian, and a guidebook. How
hmm
how did your writing journey begin, and what drew you into these genres?
Well, it started back in junior high when I was introduced to writing stories instead of just reading them. At first, it was just for a grade, but I got really into it and started crafting random stories of my own. Safe to say, none of them even survived, especially since I had to save everything on 3 by 5 diskettes. Those were notorious for getting easily corrupted, and this was back in 1997. And that's when I first started everything.
Nice. Wow. And so what prompted the writing?
It originally started with a short stories series called The Unnamed Hero. I was just writing myself as the character. I knew nothing about actually building character or anything. This was just, for school. It was weird because, you know, as you get older, you actually come to understand what it means to make characters. And me, I was just writing anything I could.
Mm-hmm. No, I hear you. And I was saying yesterday on stream that my first dungeon master, my first and only actually, said that like when your first character is usually the closest to yourself. Um,
Yeah.
so I could say that that's true. It was like kind of like me but cooler. I can resonate with that as well. And you mentioned writing both the screen and the page. So, what do you feel is the biggest creative shift between those two formats? And could you actually go into more about? Could you go into what the screen actually means?
So with screenwriting, you don't get to live inside of a character's head.
Yeah.
You actually have to show everything through action and physical detail. Every gesture, every choice, everything that you do with a character tells a story, and it's often the smallest things that say the most. It forces you to externalize what it would normally be internal.
Right. Right. That sounds really complicated, but that's just coming from someone who writes books like novels. So, um,
Well, I started by writing novels and then moved over to screenwriting in it for a different medium because I was not done telling Shadow Legacy. I wanted to put it into multiple mediums, just like Douglas Adams did with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
right. Right. Very cool. And so, do you find that novel writing influences your prose and styles or world building in the screenwriting?
Yes and no. Novel writing helps in fleshing out ideas and worlds, but world building for screenplays is a different beast altogether. It teaches you economy, how
Mm-hmm.
to suggest an entire world within a few brushstrokes. But sometimes you have to start from scratch, even in writing for the screen.
Right. And so, how do you start world building when you're screenwriting? Like, where does it start? Does it start with a character, or is it? I'm assuming it starts with a character when you're screenwriting.
No, not always. Not
Oh,
always will it start with a character.
yeah.
You know, I come up with a concept that kind of You have an actor who meets John Wick in a parody, but how you create that world, where you start from. You know, I started the character out as sitting in the middle of an entire mess, kind of like a Clockwork Orange, the way that they pulled back from the ending at the beginning.
Right.
And the character's just sitting there saying, "You're wondering how I got to this point. Well, let me tell you a little story."
Hmm.
And just within that scene right there, you've built an entire world.
Right. And then start from the beginning. Interesting. See, I've never dabbled in screenwriting at all, so it's all just so new and so different for me. Can you give us a quick pitch on what your current projects are right now?
Sure. One of them is Ascension's Integrations. This is the third book in the Artificial Trilogy. It asks, what if a seemingly perfect society was attacked by those who crave control, and the only hope for resistance came from people deep inside of a simulation?
Wow.
Another project builds off my novel Lawless Hour. Readers saw that one as just an appetizer, but the follow up explores what happens when a president isn't just a buffoon, but someone highly intelligent who gains a mass following. How far will people go before realizing it's too late to dismantle what they've allowed to build?
Wow. That's heavy. Wow. I'm just like, I'm thinking about that. And so are these projects both, are they novels or screenwrites?
Novels.
Novels. So when you're writing novels like that, do you have any sort of like word count goal or
Try and shoot for 120,000, but originally I had limited myself to 3,000 words a chapter and across 20 to 40 chapters total. Just trying to work within a limitation to see how well I can actually do things. But now that the leash is off, you will see a lot more come out of what I can do.
what does that mean that the leash is off?
Well, the leash meaning I no longer have a limitation on how I'm going to do things.
You're giving
No
yourself some
3,000 words.
you're giving yourself more creative freedom.
Yes.
Awesome. And so what can readers expect from Advanced Guide to Self-Destruction? I do have the book titles or the book covers over in the overlay here. Um, and that's the middle one with the orange. So is that the one with the about the president?
Yes, that's the full blown parody. Think
Yeah.
of it as a galactic politics viewed through the lens of a sitcom heading towards its finale.
Mm.
Entire civilizations rise and fall while alien observers lounge or cringe. It took major inspiration from Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and current events.
Interesting. So is it a satire?
Yes,
Like
it is
what can readers expect like when they open up those pages?
comedy from the outset. It's the very first chapter actually starts as like an essay to the anacyclosis cycle, the rise and fall of empires.
Wow.
And throughout the book, it's a running gag. Kind of like how Michael Crichton in Jurassic Park, he actually used chaos theory in between certain chapters to explain a lot of what's going on. I just
Hmm.
thought, make fun of him while at the same time telling a story.
Yeah. Interesting. And the artificial trilogy.
Mhm.
What inspired that one?
It actually started as a Kindle Vella project, but it quickly grew into something a lot bigger. Each book is around 120,000 words,
Wow.
and it's heavily inspired by Sword Art Online, which I know can be very polarizing. I wanted to take people I knew, put them in a virtual survival situation, and explore what happens when reality itself is questioned. It
Mm.
eventually spiraled into a rabbit hole of what if we're not even real?
Wow. You tend to go into like these really heavy, like out of the box storylines.
Hmm.
And so where do you find the time to make these projects? Like how long have you been working on these ones?
The last 5 books was all released in the last year and a half.
Wow.
So each of those books took me a couple months to write.
Wow. That's incredible. So you're just like hard at work for like a year and a half.
Yeah, and that's not including, having to rewrite an entire script because Kane's asked me to resubmit my work, and it's like I'm not giving them the same thing before because that didn't get me anywhere.
Hmm.
But, what if I did this? Because I found out I still don't know how to screenwrite properly. So I looked at other scripts, found something that was different about them compared to what I normally see, and said, you know what? I'm going to do it this way. And by the time I was done, I ended up losing 4 separate scenes from the first episode that didn't need to be there.
Wow. Wow. And I mean that's what reading does, right? It's basically research on how to improve and improve our craft. Um, uh, I found your book on Audible, or books rather on Audible. As someone who enjoys audiobooks, that's how I consume books a lot of the time because I'm so busy all the time. I rely on these audiobooks. Which one are you most proud of, for one, and which one would you recommend that someone started with?
Shadow Legacy, Curse of the Shaitani, hands down.
Yeah.
That world lived in my head for over a decade. It started as a role play within the Lion King community
Hmm.
and then grew into its own universe with original lore, mythology, and I always recommend people start there.
Wow. And when did you start that one?
2003.
Okay. And so, what was the process creating an audiobook then versus like now?
Reading an audiobook is a little bit different. I go to acx.com to work through Audible,
Hmm.
and I will hire people on a royalty share basis to record and just post the final product.
And you find that works really well for you. Do you find that a lot of people are listening to the books versus like perhaps buying the book?
Actually, a lot of my fans are truckers, so they
Mm.
need the audiobook.
Wow, that's actually really interesting. I didn't think about, you know, I, I I think of my demographic being, moms
Mhm.
probably, women who are usually really busy, so they're probably listening to their audiobook, but also doing dishes or chores or whatever. But yeah, so to know that your demographic's job are truckers, that's really interesting. And of course, they're going to need audiobooks. I used to own a house cleaning business, and that's what I relied on to get through my day every day was audiobooks. That's really cool. All right, so let's talk about your project, Shadow Legacy. What has the process been like to make this story come out of the pages and onto a screen?
It's really been a constant push pull.
Mm-hmm.
How many rewrites are enough? When does it become the one? This screenplay has won awards and even earned me 2 direct invitations to Cannes.
Wow.
But even with that, there's always the drive to make it tighter, better, like chasing perfection in something you've always lived with.
Right. So, how did it get from like what was the process like from I'm assuming it was a novel and now it's
Mhm.
going on to so is it going from novel to screenwrite to like did you have to rewrite it?
I had to revise, rewrite, and change the concept from the novel all the way to the screenplay because I now have to look at things from a different angle, a different light.
Hmm.
As I said before, you can't get into the mindset of the character as you're passively watching. You actually have to. showcase. It's a lot. There's a lot more showing than you would do in a novel.
Right. And what is the medium that Shadow Legacy will be like? How will people be able to watch it in the future?
So there's one of three ways this can go. If I get optioned, it could become an actual TV series in the future. Even while waiting for that, I'm wanting to make it a visual novel, which
Mm-hmm.
is like a video game on Steam.
Oh, cool.
The problem is, I need to get an artist, and that can be either expensive or people don't want to help on a passion project. But if I can't get an artist, it's going to be a radio play.
Oh, cool.
One way or another, this is getting done.
Yeah, that's very cool. So, like a radio play, is that kind of like a podcast sort of thing? Sort
Yeah.
of. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Very cool. Or like a dramatic reading or something like that.
Yes.
That's still really cool. I would love to hear any of my works in a dramatic reading. That'd be amazing.
I I actually have the backing of a friend in Hollywood.
Hmm. Awesome. That's, I mean, that sounds great. And we look forward to hearing all of your updates about Shadow Legacy. So, which of your characters? Let's go into this. I want to be broad because I know you have a lot of projects, and I don't necessarily want to talk about one particular one. So, which of your characters, any of your characters, have challenged your voice the most, and what was it about them that pushed you creatively?
That would have to be Mark from Lawless Hour.
Mm-hmm.
He was born out of a string of chaotic thoughts and personal disillusionment. As a journalist hardened by war zones, he questions whether documenting suffering does anything at all. He made me interrogate my own beliefs, and writing him was like unpacking a whole suitcase of societal exhaustion.
Interesting. Um, and I mean, I can't imagine. So, what kind of character is? Sorry, what did you say the character's name was? Mark, right?
Mark, yes.
What kind of character would you say? Like, how would you describe their character?
He's done with the world. He's trying to get the last vestiges of truth out to the world because, the new president has allowed police to enact authority and laws unimpeded so they can do whatever they please.
Mm-hmm.
And in that this particular night, he's filming them actually taking people out of their homes and executing them in the streets.
Wow. And when you write scenes like that, how graphic are they?
Sometimes it's better to leave it to the imagination than it is to actually showcase it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like you're from what I've read, because I remember reading one of your short stories during Short Story Month last year in December.
Mhm.
Um, and so between that and reading this a snippet of short story tonight, it seems like your writing is more inside the character's head rather
Yes,
than like them physically moving. Like they don't even really have to be moving. It feels like you're very much just in their head, in their thoughts, and you're getting a story that way. So
yes.
yeah, I can totally like just picture exactly what you're talking about. All right, so you mentioned recently about being accepted into the Tennessee Screenwriters Association. So what does that entail? What do you have to do in order to be accepted?
Being accepted into the Tennessee Screenwriters Association opens a lot of doors.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a membership, it's a launch pad. Through it, I now have the opportunity to pitch my own scripts, to get involved in professional workshops, and connect with others in the industry who are just as driven to tell compelling stories. This is a big step towards seeing my work translated from page to screen.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So it's like kind of like a stepping stone or like a doorway into the world of television, or
Yes,
I don't know if there's other things other than television, like
the silver
um,
screen.
is that what it's called? The
Yes.
silver screen. Okay, this is another new thing for me. All right, and you, along with the Tennessee Screenwriters Association, you were invited to work on a TV series being pitched to Netflix. Let's talk about that a little bit more.
I've been invited by music artist Eric Sulky Thread Sanchez to write the pilot script for a musical
Hmm.
that's currently being pitched to Netflix through a representing agency. I'm writing the entire pilot myself
Wow.
with the help of lyrics that Eric has provided me. The concept is something that really resonates with me. It explores the rise and fall of a villain shaped by real life events. It's about how people become what the world calls monsters, but with emotional depth and a musical edge. It's ambitious, it's bold, and I'm honored to be trusted with bringing this vision to life.
Right. And what kind of music is it?
I would say a bit of techno.
Okay, that's cool. And so, how did you get about, like, how did this person reach out to you?
I've worked with him in the past,
Mm-hmm.
this past year and a half, inside of VR chat. I was looking for someone to interview for my podcast, LPA Presents, from YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, come help me out and I'll give you that interview. And
Nice.
so he brought me on board his YouTube channel, uh, Avenge My Pizza. And I did some skits with the group, and he made me one of the managers because I have a license for business.
Mm-hmm.
So he needed some help in actually making it a business. This was before he became a musician. He
Okay.
was just like the number one paintball champion in the world turned entertainer.
Oh, cool. Very interesting. Um, I want to know more about this. I just need to think about what kind of questions to ask. Uh, like what? So, how how do you go from novel writing to screenwriting to musical? Like what's the difference between writing a screenwrite for, like, let's say a, um sorry, what is the piece that you're doing? Shadow Legacy. What's
Hmm.
the difference between writing a screenwrite for Shadow Legacy versus like a musical?
Formatting. Really, it's on the formatting.
Hmm.
When you're doing musical, you're hitting the beats in line as you write it. But with regular screenwriting, it's all one block of text where
Yeah.
everything is locked off with commas, periods, exclamation points, and all kinds of punctuation just to make sure that when the person's speaking, they know when to breathe, when to stop.
Right. Oh, that's really interesting. Like it's opening me up to like this entire different world of writing. So we're going from novel writing to like screenwriting with musical. That's really cool. Let's veer off into a different direction here.
Hmm.
So let's talk about your process, your writing process, a little bit more. Uh, I can see you're writing at home. You're a writing streamer, so it looks like you tend to stick to your house. Do you write outside at all, or like do you
No,
leave? No.
no. With my new laptop, I should be able to.
Yeah.
I picked up well, my mother paid for a MacBook Air 2020 edition because Scrivener, Final Draft, and a lot of other programs that I used to write with require Mac. They
Mm,
don't do as well on PC because they weren't originally designed for PC. PC was an afterthought.
right. Yeah. It's, that's typical. Uh, and also, there's people out there. We don't need to go outside. I have
Well,
a
when you live with a disability, it kind of makes things a little bit harder.
right. And so when you start your writing process,
Mhm.
do you I'm okay, you have a new idea. A new idea
Mhm.
sparks in your brain. Does it always kind of the same thing? Is it a person or is it a place or is it a culture? Like what usually sparks first?
Believe it or not, when I write, I build the first scene all together, just like I'm opening a brand new book that someone just handed me.
Mhm.
I let the story build itself organically. I pants everything.
Right.
If I try to do an outline, I have an issue because my mind doesn't think like that.
Yeah.
It'll look at the outline, and by the time I'm done with it, it has nothing of the time of the outline whatsoever in it.
Right. I agree with that. I'm a pantser as well. Um, so you open a Word document and you start with your first scene. So do you have a world like do you just I guess you have a situation.
Mhm.
Is it like you have the plot and then you
Yes,
just kind of work around that. Interesting.
right.
And so you were talking about how you use Scrivener and other tools before. So do you what do you generally use day to day to get your work out there?
Oh,
What are,
definitely Final Draft and Scrivener are the primary ones. It's great for keeping my chaos somewhat contained. I mean, it handles formatting, organization, draft management in a way that makes publishing prep far easier.
right.
And trust me, I'm not the most organized writer out there.
I don't think is there such thing as an organized writer because I feel like we're all just kind of like our minds are so chaotic all the time. Um, do
If you
you
really want if you really want to get a look into my mind though, I would recommend the concept codex that I just released. It that was close to 80 different concepts put in one book.
Oh wow. Uh, let's talk more about that. So what kind of concepts are we talking about?
We're talking everything from sci-fi to fantasy to dystopian to even drama and mystery.
Interesting. And like is that similar to like what you sent me to earlier today, that character concept?
Some of it can be.
Hmm.
I do have information for characters in it. I build a world not just in the synopsis, but I go through every aspect of what the book might be or even movie, and I fill in what information I can. I'm not always consistent with how I do it. I try to keep a format, but it doesn't always stick.
And
And even then, just putting the idea down, that's one thing. By the time I'm done writing it, it may not even resemble what I just came up with.
yeah, I mean, I can totally relate to that. The Heiress of Soul used to be an Inuyasha fan fiction, and now it's nothing like it. Um, and when you're writing, do you picture your work as a movie?
Yes.
Yeah. And like, do you write as if maybe one day this will be a movie? So I'm gonna put this. Like, are you strategic with your writing?
No.
No, I'm just wondering because you have like that novel to movie kind of mind. So I wasn't sure if maybe you had that kind of in your mind at the very start when you're writing a novel.
It also depends though, because I do have a couple screenplays that I wrote that I could not write as a book.
Hmm.
So it varies. There's two that I have. One of them is copywritten. It's called the Customer's Always Right. It's a dark comedy about the Karen Association of America who decide to pick on the new general manager of the Box Mart because they have it in their minds that they are in charge.
The KAA. Oh my gosh. I love the title. That's actually perfect.
And at the end of the movie, it explains, that the customer is always right was actually about ordering food in a restaurant. No matter how many times you change your mind, you are always right about what you want.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But like
And that's
anywhere
the whole
else,
joke.
anywhere else, that's like no.
Yeah, people have used the phrasing improperly.
Yeah.
And I've actually got a YouTuber who allowed me to use him as a character in it, and he wants to play the part himself.
Like, if is this something that's going to become a movie on screen thing?
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
I'm planning on doing it in VR. My brother's helping me build a program specifically designed to work with people around the world in VR and film it like I'm actually on set.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Are you sharing stuff like that on your own streams?
No, you know, when it comes to my work, I have it blurred out so no one can see what I'm working on.
Yeah, I don't do that. I'm like, whatever. You can see my stuff. It's never you're never gonna see enough of it in linearly to know.
At, at one point, I was actually sharing my work on Terrible Novelist's channel
Hmm.
until some things happened recently and certain people decided they wanted to bring academics into things.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. It's fine. All right. So, what? Okay, in the grand scheme of things, in all of your works, not one particular project, but we as writers, we all have a sort of message that we're trying to send out to the world. So, what are you hoping that readers walk away with after they experience any of your works?
I want people to question what they think they know. I want them to wrestle with philosophy concepts that emerge naturally from the story. I never build a book around a singular message. Instead, I ask myself questions mid draft and follow where they lead. Let the story argue with itself.
Mm-hmm. And having like a different perspective as well.
Hmm.
I think that's it's really key when like as writers we're showing one perspective and it could be different than another perspective for the reader, and so it just shows them a different way of looking at things. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you did send me your website lpanimation.com, which I can put over into the chat.
Yeah.
Um, so readers can find you there. Is there anywhere else where readers can find you?
That would be Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
which you can also find on my website. I have a link there.
Perfect.
But I keep active on Facebook with frequent posts. And I also send out a monthly newsletter via Substack. It gives updates, sneak peeks, and thoughts from behind the scenes.
Okay, cool.
Then I also have my Twitch account,
Of
which
course.
I will I have it set up for both gaming and writing. When I'm in my downtimes, I will game with other streamers or I will just hop in a game and just stream it.
Right. And you're on quite often too. I mean, I've been kind of in my own head lately. I haven't been on
Mhm.
Twitch as much as I should be, but I know for a while there you were on like you don't sleep kind of
24/7.
yeah, you don't sleep. Are you still like that? Are you still streaming all the time?
No, I moved to Monday through Friday, 2 to about 8. I don't stick strictly to it because I found that I can't work on a tight schedule.
Yeah, I'm the
I
same way.
I have I have a type of ADHD where I'm more hyper focused on things and trying to stick to any kind of schedule unless it's a loosely based one just irritates me.
Right. And when you are hyper focused on something, like you should be in it. Like don't interrupt me because it does like
Right.
for me it doesn't happen very often where it's just like a perfect storm of events where I can be in
Mhm.
hyper focus mode. So I get it.
Everyone does pommos or sprints or something. I'm just furiously at my keyboard, just typing away.
Yeah. No,
My
I get
mind
it.
goes about 1,000,000 miles a minute, and I got to get it down.
Right? And you don't see me when I finish my Pomodoro streams after I turn off my stream and then I'm writing like crazy. So I'm like I was interrupted so many times from these timers.
and
No,
then there's chat too,
yeah,
because you don't want to leave them hanging.
exactly. We need to be good streamers and communicate with chat. Otherwise, what are we
Unfortunately, I'm a
doing here?
terrible streamer at that. I throw on either bardcore or lo-fi and
Yep,
just get to work.
yep. I love me some bardcore. I tend to get too into it because a lot of them are covers, right? And so like
Hmm.
I just get too into it and then I can't focus. All right, so we're going to wrap this up with a this or that game if you're up for it. I have about 10 questions here.
Hmm.
You don't have to answer like super rapid fire or anything like that. We'll just go through as we go through.
Okay.
I already know the first answer, but here we go. Plotter or pantser?
Answer, of course.
Of course. So first draft, is it chaotic or clean?
Clean.
Really? I want to talk more about
Yes.
this.
I'm a perfectionist. I want to get it right the first time and then go through and just make um, technical cleanups.
Right,
Pro writing aid goes through, finds the issues, clean it up, done, go.
right. I'm like the opposite. Everything's a chaotic mess. I'm like, I know what my main plot points are. I just need to get from point A to point B, and let's get there super fast, and then we'll just go back to the start and do it all over again. So I.
I've actually been compared to Terry Goodkind when just before he started adding detail into his stories.
Who's Terry Goodkind?
The Sword of Truth.
Nope.
You've never heard of that one?
Nope. What is it like a movie? Is it
Fantasy. It's a
a
book.
writer? It's a book.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He died about 5 years ago, but he did nothing but fantasy.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm not one to read high fantasies.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure I pretty much stick to romance actually, so that's probably why. It could be romantasy, it could be any kind of romance, but there has to be romance in it. All right, so
I'm
next one. Oh no, go continue. Sorry.
I'm eclectic. I don't care what the subject matter is. I will do anything on it. It just depends on where my mood takes me at that moment.
Yeah. My mood always takes me to smushing faces. I don't know. So like, so when you are writing, are you writing in? Oh, you already said this, but writing in silence or with music?
Believe it or not, I don't hear the music.
Yeah.
I
It.
I leave it for everybody else, but it does not affect how I write. It's
Okay.
just white noise to me.
Like so, when you go into that hyper focus mode, you just don't hear anything. It's just
No,
yeah. But when you're streaming, you're playing music and there's music playing for you, but you just don't pay attention to it.
no.
Got it. Are you an early morning writer or late night?
Late night.
Oh. And when we're talking late night, are we talking like you're up until 4 in the morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Are you do okay? I kind of already know the answer to this one too, but I am also more curious. Do you work on one project at a time, or do you juggle multiple?
I juggle multiple.
Hmm.
Right now, I'm working on two projects. Um, Ascension's Integrations, the third book in the Artificial Trilogy, and the entire series of Shadow Legacy in screenplay format.
Right. And so, how long is Shadow Legacy, the novel?
The novel, about 300 pages or more.
Okay.
It's
How
only
many?
about 93,000 words.
I know words better.
Okay.
Okay, 93,000 words. And so this is so you're not only converting it into a screenplay, but you have to convert it into like episodes as well.
Yes.
So that's great. But are
I
episodes like chapters, like 2 or 3 chapters or something like that?
It depends
Mm-hmm.
because when you're writing it, you may have to expand on something that you didn't have the ability to do before, or you may shorten it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at, on average, 12 episodes, an hour apiece.
Okay.
That's at minimum.
Yeah, that's lengthy. That's a big project. Yeah.
Originally, I was going to make them about 20 minutes, kind of like anime style,
Mm-hmm.
but one one person who reviewed my work said it was too serious of a concept to keep to only 20 minutes.
Right.
And even then, they compared it to Game of Thrones.
Oh wow. Is there a lot going on like comparable when you say comparable to Game of Thrones? There's a lot going on in Game of Thrones. You're hopping from like different um what are they called? Parties, but
Viewpoints.
viewpoints, yeah, different clans, whatever. So is it kind of like that where there's different perspectives or is it just you're sticking to one serious?
There, there are two perspectives,
Okay.
two different characters. Originally, when I wanted to write it, it was supposed to be just one character, but one another character was important enough to actually warrant their own sections.
I love that.
And there's a lot of political intrigue in Shadow Legacy.
Hmm.
I mean, if I were to just say it properly, it is the Lion King in um, Game of Thrones form.
Yeah, very cool.
I've been told it's the Lion King if it was written by Tolkien.
That's interesting. Um, and are you sharing any of? Well, I guess you have Shadow Legacy available to read as a novel, and
Yes,
then but you're not sharing any of the screenplay work as you're working on it. You're keeping it all a secret.
right.
Interesting.
And I actually have volunteer voice actors who want to play the parts.
Oh, cool. That's so
I will
exciting.
When I'm done with everything, I will be holding auditions.
That's so much fun. I'm jealous of that part. I want to like I want to totally be a part of something like that one day. Um, all right, so we'll continue this game. I'm so good at getting off topic. Well, sort of. Um, Longhand notes or is everything digital?
Digital.
Uh, Drafting. So I I feel like I already know the answer to this. You already mentioned that the first draft is clean, but
Yes.
is it a slow process or is it a very quick process for you?
Quick process.
I was gonna say because you wrote 5 novels in a year and a
When
half.
I
So
was limiting myself to about 3,000 words a chapter, I was doing a chapter a day
yeah, that's
in 3 hours.
yeah, that's where hyper focus mode comes in handy.
Yep.
Do you have a daily word count goal or is it like a flexible kind of thing? You just kind of work with your muse.
At minimum 3,000 words. I don't stop until I hit that.
Oh, that's why you're up until 4 a.m. some nights, eh?
Yes. Actually, there was one night that I was not allowed to go to bed because my mind wouldn't let me until I wrote 9,000 words.
I was like, I just have to write 9. Nine's the number tonight. Oh man, that's brutal. Um, are you a coffee or tea drinker?
Soda.
Soda. That's why I asked. I don't take you as a coffee drinker. I don't know why.
Actually, if I drink coffee, it's got to be iced coffee.
Mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A little iced coffee and Taylor Swift. It's just living your best life. I'm just
If
kidding.
you were to listen to my music list, my actual music list, you'd be wondering what my mental status is.
Is it like just screamer metal?
It's power metal.
Oh, see,
And
I
my
was close.
my husband has said that my music is very morbid because I will listen to "In the End" by Black Veil Brides.
I don't know who that is, but that's also saying something about me. So I'm more like Ed Sheeran. But yeah, so what was I gonna say? Shoot. Um, tea, coffee, music. Oh, I have a coworker who listens to like scream or heavy metal on
Oh,
when she needs to focus. So does that actually help you focus sometimes?
really? It doesn't matter because I've thrown '90s music on in the background and just written.
Your mind is just really able to like take out that music if you need to.
Yeah,
That's interesting. Okay. And my last question is, um, and I again already know the answer to this one: outline first or dive in blind?
believe it or not, I try outline first,
Oh, okay. But then it
but
never. But
yeah, but that's just a set of goals that I don't even follow.
right? I mean, like you really are following your muse and the ideas that are in your head. So having an outline like externally is almost like a distraction from.
And remember this concept. If you can't figure out what you need to do, kill off a character and see how others would react to it. Throw a grenade in the middle of a situation.
Oh, the one I heard, I can't remember. I think it was Poetic Tragic said throw an octopus in the room and see how different people react to just like this random ass octopus. And it actually it does help when you think about if just putting a scenario like something super random into like a room with all of your characters, how they react and what makes them unique and different in that way. I love that.
You know, I honestly think you should read Virtual Requiem. I took characters with perfectly good lives, threw them into a situation where they've been asked to survive because reality is no longer available to be returned to. How do these characters react to being stuck?
Interesting.
And I get deep into the psychological aspect of these characters.
How does that affect you as a writer slash human being?
Cons- Consider this. When I write, I like the psychological aspect of characters, getting to know their flaws, their deep desires, everything, because I live with a mental condition where, I can't just turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
But at least with these characters, they can either succumb to anything or rise above. It just varies.
Interesting. So like character creation is almost like an escape from your own mind.
Yes.
Like a little vacation.
In Virtual Requiem,
Yeah.
I have one character who wants to go back to the real world so bad that they throw themselves off a clock tower and get resurrected because they can't really die.
Interesting.
But at the same time, if they die, they lose important memories. And the last thing that this character thought of was a cat that they had a long time ago that had died. And they were no longer allowed to remember it. And eventually they get to the point where they just lock themselves off from the world in a cabin in the woods.
Wow. Yeah, and I said this before that you're really good at getting into the characters' minds and just staying there and living in it. So
Yes.
that's really interesting. I did write down Virtual Requiem. I'll look that one up for sure. I do love a good escape. That's what writing is. It's an
Yeah.
escape. Whether you're reading it or writing, it's interesting how we can just all of a sudden be like hallucinating. Just writing and reading is this crazy thing where we can just look at these symbols and start hallucinating. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to wrap up this interview for tonight. I thank you so much for coming. I'm glad that we did have that hour to talk about everything that we wanted to talk about. Uh, we definitely wouldn't have been able to fit it into a half hour. That's for sure.
No.
So
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure to have you here, and I look forward to getting updates on your projects, especially the novel to screenwrite. Like I. I'm really interested in seeing what that looks like in the end. Like I'm just like gonna be in the background just rooting for you because it's really exciting.
As soon as I'm done with the edits to the pilot episode, I would love to send it to you. I
Please do.
I had to change the formatting once I realized that even then I misformatted. So I'm adding in one more scene that sets the tone for the entire series.
Very exciting. That's so exciting. You must have like these like giddy little goosebumps on your arms all the time, just getting it all ready.
Actually, it's double S double D for me.
What's double S double T?
Same stuff, different day.
Oh, yes, yes, I understand.
I casually dropped to my friend in Hollywood that I got requested to be in Canes twice, and she freaked out. I thought that was just something normal.
Yeah.
Then again, she's decided to drop in my lap that she had just got done filming on The Pit.
What's the pit?
The Pit is a spiritual successor to ER, created by Noah Wiley.
I don't know anything about. Oh my gosh, you know so much about all this stuff, and I'm like just lost in my own little romantic bubble.
And see, that's the thing about being in the entertainment industry. Whether
Yeah.
you're writing full-on novels that are outside any particular subject matter, and dealing with movies, TV series, you have to know just about everything about the world.
Oh, Cherry says it's a super popular show right now. I haven't hardly watched TV. Okay, get with it, Christy. The last thing I watched was um that Adam Sandler movie, um
Happy Gilmore too.
Happy Gilmore 2. And it wasn't good. I'm sorry, Adam, but it wasn't good. I so yeah, I just need to get some better recommendations. So, chat, drop it all in there. What did you say that one was called?
The Pit.
The Pit. That's right. I'm gonna write down.
PITT.
Okay. I wrote it down. I'm gonna watch it. Thank you, Cherry, for also spelling it, just in case. All right, awesome. Thank you so much for coming by. I again, I'm really looking forward to seeing all of these projects come to life, and I will be seeing you on Twitch, the same page, Discord, everything. So thank you so much, Matthew, for being here,
Thank you.
and yeah, all the best. Have yourself a great night. Don't stay up until 4 a.m.
All
All right, we'll talk to you later.
right.
Bye.
Bye.